So once you sign up for Teamwork, you can choose a sample project, but in this case, I'm going to create our first particular project here for our school. The next step is actually inviting some of the staff members into the account. You don't have to invite everybody straight away, but it's good to get a couple of people in there so you can start the ball rolling and keep schoolwork going. And then it's a case of just selecting Get Started. And then we're set up and we're right into our first project, which is our school. And this can be used for any of your admin stuff. And of course, you can call this whatever you want. It doesn't have to be called our school. So in the next couple of minutes in this video, we are going to be taking a look at tasks and adding teachers and adding parents and assigning schoolwork to everybody so you can keep that schoolwork going. And it's going to be really, really easy to do. This is the home area in Teamwork, and this is one of the first screens that you're going to see once you get your first project and account set up. Now, there's so many different ways that you can use Teamwork for schools, and everybody is having their own way of working, but we're after kind of talking to a couple of education facilities and a couple of different people, and this is just a suggestion based on what we have learned. So either come up with your own one or maybe utilize some of what I am saying in all of this. And of course, we're only too happy to help. If you get stuck or need any kind of suggestions at all, support@teamwork.com. So we're in our account, and the first step that we should be looking at doing is adding our teachers or our school staff into the account. You can go to the People tab and select People, and then select Invite Users. So I'm going to add Adrian here first. Which company should they belong to? I don't want to get into the ins and outs and terminology of owner companies and this kind of stuff, but if it's a staff member, they should really go into the owner company, which in this case is Teamwork for Schools. Now, are they a standard user or a collaborator? We're going to keep parents as collaborators, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but we're going to keep the teachers as standard users or possibly admins as well. So the next step is we're going to select projects. As we have a first project here, we're going to add them to that, and then we're going to look at different projects for different classes and grades. Can we add this user to all projects or just a specific project? Their permissions, is it default permissions? Are they a project administrator or an administrator? And depending on the level that you give them, they can have a lot more access to within the account. Now, can a teacher, in this case like Adrian, can they add users? Probably a good idea that they can, so they can add in parents or students into their project for their class. And then can they create projects? So we're going to look at setting up different projects per classes momentarily, but if you want to allow your teachers or staff to spin up another project, just give them this permission. So can create projects. Next, you can write a message. You have an option to type in a message here, and then once you're good to go, select Send Invite to one person. Now, the next step is I'm going to add a bunch of other teachers here really quickly, and then we'll get into setting up projects and what they mean for your school and your system. I've quickly added some more teachers here, and now the next step is the actual structure. So we've spoken to a couple of different people, including educational institutes, and we've looked at our projects, and we're going to create a project per year, per grade, or per class. So in this case, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the plus symbol, and I'm going to select project, and I'm going to call this 6th class. I'm going to give it the description. I'm going to select the People tab. And now, because Adrian is our 6th class teacher, I'm going to add him in here. Next up, we're looking at the feature set. So what do we want in this particular project for 6th class or 6th grade? Again, what you call it is entirely up to you. So tasks, messages, and communications are going to be really important because the tasks are what people are going to be doing from the student's perspective, and comments and messages allow communication. Now, files, notebooks, and links can be really helpful from the teacher's perspective, where they can upload their own files to help out the students, or they can add some extra notebooks with lots of text and images, also to help out the students, or if there's some videos or anything like that that will help out on the work that everybody is doing, then they can add them to the links section. So these are just suggestions. You can turn these on or you can turn them off as needs be. So I'm just going to select Add Project next. So now we're in the project here. We can see it's our 6th class project. The title is up here. We have our overview, tasks, messages, files, notebooks, and so on. Now the next step here is we're going to add in the parents or the students. So all I got to do is select the People tab here, and I'm going to select Add People. So we can see our existing users here that we've already got, which are our teaching staff, but we're going to add some new users here. I'm going to select Invite New Users. Now we can add a whole bunch of people here in one go, one after the other, with their first name, last name, and email address. But just in this case here, I'm just going to add the first parent or student first. And then I'm going to show you a really important step. And are they a standard user or they're a collaborator? Our advice, and again, it's entirely up to you, but a collaborator is kind of going to have restricted access, so they will be able to communicate within the project for 6th class in this case. They will be able to mark their stuff as complete. And that's kind of more or less the access that they do have. So you're not giving them standard user access. So I'm suggesting that you'd use parents or students as collaborators. And then we're going to select the projects. So we've got a couple of projects here. So do we want to add these for all projects, or do we just want, because we're setting up the 6th class project, do we want to add this parent or student for 6th class into the 6th class project? So all we got to do is make sure our 6th class project is ticked, and that means that they're only going to be in that project. They're not going to see anything else. Next, you can write a message. So once you've put in your message, you can select send invite to one person, or if you've set up a whole bunch of other people, you'll be sending an invite to multiple people. So I'm going to select this one. And now I'm quickly going to go back in and add a whole bunch of other users in the exact same way. And then next, we're going to be taking a look at our task lists and our tasks. So basically, we're going to take a look at the day-by-day structure and how the teachers can actually assign out work to everybody, and they can track whether it's been done or not, and if any parents have any communication issues that they need to take up about if they've got any questions about the work that's been assigned. We're going to also talk about how that can be done really, really easily. I've now added more parents into the 6th class project here, so we are good to go and jump back into the actual project itself. So I'm going to select projects up here, and I'm going to select our 6th class project. And as we can see, it's more or less a blank slate here at the moment. We've got nothing going on inside here. So what we're going to do is give you a suggestion on how to get task lists and tasks working for you, and indeed working for parents and students. So what we're suggesting, and this is only a suggestion, everybody and every teacher will have their own way of doing this, but think of a task list as somewhere that's going to hold all the tasks for whatever that might be. So in this case, we're going to set up a task list for a week. So I'm going to select create a task list, and we're going to go March 23rd to March 27th. We can have some notes inside here as well. We can take a look at privacy or advanced or defaults, but we're not going to concentrate on things that are just outside of the basics right now. So once you've set up your title, and if you've added some notes, let's select add task list. So we can see we have our first task list here created, and this is going to hold all the work from March 23rd to March 27th. So what we want to do now is add the first task. So again, just a suggestion, we're going to call this a day. So we're going to call this Monday 23rd. In the description, this is where you can get as creative as you want and add whatever you need to in there so the students exactly understand what they have to do. I'm just going to drag down a description box here, and I'm going to put in some items. So we can see English 20 minutes, math 20 minutes, geography, French, and so on. So a suggestion of what the topic is and the actual duration. Now for teachers, this is only a suggestion, but you can put in exactly what is needed to be done for each subject. So that's step one. So we have our task, which is our day, Monday the 23rd, and then we have exactly what needs to be done in the description. And you can be as creative as you want inside here. You can add images, you can set fonts and italics and bold and bullet points and everything you need to do with the editor. And if you want to add any files that would be helpful to the students, simply select the files here, and you can add files simply by selecting add files. So who should do this? Well, we want all the parents or all the students in 6th class to do this. So what we need to do is select multiple people, and then each selected person must do this. This is really important because each person will have to mark this day as complete once they get the notification and do the work. So I'm going to select each selected person must do this, and I'm going to select all. So that basically means I've now selected every single user here in just the 6th class project, and each of them must do this specific task. I'm going to select done. And the final step when it comes to assigning is select notify by email. This means everybody who's been assigned this particular task, or Monday the 23rd schoolwork, is going to get an email saying, hey, this is what's happening. You've got a task to do, and they can click in and they can jump in exactly and see what they need to do, or they can just go from their email. And of course, they can also mark things then as complete once they do it. There's some extra options here. Feel free to have a look around. So you can set start and due dates if you wish. You can add some reminders. So you can add mobile SMS reminders if you've got their phone numbers in there. You can add email reminders and push notifications as well if people are using the Teamwork mobile app, which is available on Android and iOS. Once you're good to go, simply select Save Changes. And we can now see from the teacher's perspective, Everybody has been assigned those particular tasks. Next up is Tuesday 24th. Exact same procedure. Put in your description, and if you want to select any of these other options here, such as reminders or anything like that, or upload attachments that will help out in that specific day, you can do them all from there. And then once you're good to go again, select Save Changes. And as we can see, March 23rd to March 27th is filling up quite nicely here. So we can see everybody for the 23rd, and then we can see everybody for Tuesday the 24th, and so on. That's the basics in teamwork when it comes to setting up a bit of a workflow. And it's only a suggestion for teachers when it comes to helping out parents and students getting to know exactly what their kids need to be doing when it comes to schoolwork. Just one or two more things here really quickly that we want to kind of look at that's going to help you out. That's messages. So simply select messages up here, and this is specific again just to 6th class. Messages is where you can communicate directly to everybody in this particular project, which is for 6th class. We can have it just for specific people. So if you wanted to talk just to specific people, you can simply click select people. And let's say this message is only going to be for David, Jessica, and John. They're the only ones that are going to see that. And then we can simply select post message. Alternatively, you can have it for everybody. And then finally, on tasks as well, you may see notifications that you're getting a comment. So a parent may have a question, or a student may have a question, or you want to add something to a particular comment. So let's say I just want to talk to David here specifically. I can simply just select add comment here in the task. I've created a message here for David, and it's directly to David. I don't want anybody else reading this, so I'm going to select David to be notified first of all. I'm going to select update, so he's going to get a notification. And on the privacy, the really important side, I'm just going to select David. I'm going to select done. And this means nobody else, no other parent, for example, can read this message because it's directly to David. And once you're good to go, select save. Alternatively, you can also use Teamwork Chat for your communications, and we're going to talk about that in a separate video. And that's the basics of setting up teamwork for teachers. Again, these are only suggestions. Everybody will have their own way of doing this, but kind of at a basic level here. And to summarize, we are creating a project. We're adding people into the particular project, and the project in this case is representing a class. We've got the parents in there. We've got the teachers. We've got a task list, which is going to be for a week of work. And then we got each task we're calling in a day, and it's been assigned to each parent or student. And it's really as easy as that. Now, I know it might be a little bit daunting if the software is new, but it's a really great way to have everything in one place. And the more you try it and the more you kind of dig into teamwork, it really is easy to use. However, if you are stuck and if you do need a hand, please don't hesitate to contact us, support@teamwork.com, and we'll sort you out. And we're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.